And a hearty hello, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join me in what I've titled to be a deeper dive into self love. A deeper dive into self love is the title of this series. All are everything here in the content is a spinoff and an offshoot of my latest book, Becoming a Self-Love Practitioner. It's available now in paperback. You pay attention to the information on the crawler on the very bottom of the screen. You'll see how you can order your copy, the paperback, a PDF, or an e-copy version that can be viewed on any electronic device, Apple, Android, or whatever the case may be, desktop, laptop, watch, tablet, whatever you can view ebooks on as a supported device, you can view your copy of the book. The good thing about the PDF and the ebook versions is they are an instant download. So when you order and pay for them, you instantly get them just moments after you order, versus the paperback, which is going to take about 8 days total to receive. And that's with a little extra for rush shipping. So if you pay for the book and order it with a little extra on top, you can have it rushed to you in exactly 8 days. And I know that to be a fact. So get yourself a copy of the book. So much to talk to you about, as I am typically very excited about so many developments. Number one, 2 Fridays ago, we did a very soft, quiet launch of the Encouragement is Key, the network that I founded and run. It's a collection of encouragement-based projects that I gather people together to execute. There's a women's newsletter that we're going to do a reboot for. There is a men's forum, a women's forum. There's tons of things that are personal development, professional development related. Everything you want to know about coaching. Of course, all of my 21 books are a part of the Encouragement is Key network. So the network has been very, very instrumental in many people's lives. I've given my life to building it, and it continues to grow and to develop. And 2 weeks ago, the network launched its very own YouTube channel. Now, we had a YouTube channel before. The difference between the one we had and the one we have now is that the YouTube channel we have now, which is called, by the way, Encouragement by Design, is the fact that we have set this YouTube channel up to play like you would have expected old-time television to play. We've got something going on every half hour, every hour, something encouragement, inspirational, motivational related, something personal growth and development, professional growth and development related. And the goal is for us to add enough content to the channel that you can have one button click and you can watch 24 straight hours of inspirational, motivational based, family friendly information, videos, segments, interviews. I got so much material out there, and it continues to be developed, and I'm adding to it every day. The goal is that we have 3 playlists. So whenever you go to the channel, you can click one of 3 playlists. There is a playlist specifically for Monday through Friday. There's a playlist for Saturday viewing, and there's a separate playlist for Sunday. So the goal is to have each one of those buckets and divisions, each one of those time slots, to be able to show 24 hours of uninterrupted, family-friendly program or content. So the goal is to have each one of those be 24 hours. So we're marching, we're climbing to what I call content completion, which is a drive that I started a few days ago, where we're trying to add as much content, quality content, so we can have 24 hours, 72 hours in total. So at the time that I did the first placard posting, we had 11 hours of programming against a 72-hour goal. So like you see the thermometers in businesses when they're doing a fundraiser, so you see how much money has been raised, we're doing something similar at Encouragement is Key. And so we've already added 20 plus hours of programming, new content, just this week alone across each of those 3 buckets. And we hope to be able to raise that exponentially. over the next 30 days. So we have a solid 24 hours that you can watch, enjoy, and facilitate your personal and professional growth and development in a number of areas. And we've got so much more to come. This series is one of those more recent additions. And just so you know, my apologies to those of you that were waiting and who missed the 6 a.m. showing. Due to technical difficulties, we weren't able to execute that the way we wanted to. My sincerest apologies. So I gave you a lot more. I spread it on extra thick for the noonday showing, and I want to do the same today for the 6 p.m. Now, what I'm going to do today is either going to be the last broadcast, or I'll just finish off the week. I'll take a look at the numbers, see what kind of views we've been getting, and hopefully make a decision as to whether or not to continue or to change and adjust the format, just so we have maximum benefit on you, our listening and our viewing participants. We're not out here creating things just for creation's sake. We want to have an impact, and one of the ways we know we're having an impact is the number of thumbs up, the number of likes that you give, and certainly the number of comments that you leave, and the number of those of you who subscribe to our channel. So please do any and all of those for this series and for all of the other series. Go out to the Encouragement by Design channel. You'll love what you see out there. We have a number of series running. We've got some snippets that are like commercial informationals that you'll enjoy, that will help to provoke your thought, to get you thinking more and more about what's important to you personally and professionally. So we put a lot of thought in this, and as the title of the channel says, this is not encouragement by luck. It's not encouragement by happenstance. This is encouragement by design. We purposely set out to do what it is we're doing. We put a lot of thought into it to be able to gather the people, to get the input, to create the segments, and to present them to you in a way that's going to be maximally beneficial. And thankfully, with this piece of technology we've acquired, we can do a number of things all at once, and we can do a number of things automatically without having to have somebody attend a desk or sit in a cubicle and push buttons. I set a lot of these videos up to play automatically, and they do so all throughout the day. And that is super exciting, because while they're doing their thing, I can be over here creating more things, gathering more people. There are 2 interviews out there on the channel that are brand new. One that I just got off of, a brand new series that comes from the project of the network called When Men Speak. It is an interview I did with a dear friend of mine. It's one-on-one interviews with me and African-American men talking about the things that matter most to them. My longtime friend, Wayman Hicks, stopped by, and I did an interview with him because he is newly a grandfather. So he shared with us from his newly acquired title as grandpa what the joys are of being a grandfather. And he talked at length about the plans and the change of mindset the birth of his granddaughter has brought, all for the better. And he has a good, strong, wise, generational outlook. He sees his granddaughter's life. He sees him providing for her even long after he's passed on. Very wise man. You'll love that interview because, of course, what fuels the interviews are my relationships that I have with the people I bring on. Many of the people I bring on, I have personal relationships with these people, long-term, short-term, in some shape, form, or fashion, long before encouragement is key. So you get the benefit of that exchange being quality filled, and certainly wherever I am, typically foolishness and shenanigans are sure to follow. So I try to make sure that I give every opportunity I can for laughter and for a good, hearty smile, at least, if not a gut-busting laughter. So you'll see that there. I also last night interviewed 2 incredible professionals who are hypnotherapists. Their interview is out there. It's just amazing to learn about the different disciplines that are available for people to tap into, so that they get a chance to get the healing, to get the resolve they need, and to move on in life in a fully healthy manner. So check out my interview with hypnotherapists on a segment that I created called Tell Me More. It is a series that I created where I'm interviewing people for things that don't have anything to do with my encouragement-based network. It's usually projects and organizations that they're involved in outside of my network. So I have a separate stream and series to interview them versus like my friend Wayman Hicks, who was an extension of my When Men Speak project, which is definitely an encouragement is key division. So either way, everybody gets coverage and everybody gets good professional, um, passion-filled, enthusiastic involvement from me so that I can do my best in presenting the things that we are mutually excited about. So go out to the Encouragement by Design channel and you get a chance to see all of these things and subscribe so you can get a chance to benefit from all the new things that we are creating every single day. There's a segment out there called Coming Soon. You can expect that to be updated every week so you'll know what's coming down the pipe. We have live sessions like this one. We have pre-recorded things. We've got all kinds of stuff. We got talk shows. We got stuff on marriage and relationships. We're going to have a series we're going to do on infidelity recovery. We're going to have a series on relationship preparedness so you can get a chance if you are currently in a state where you're not in a relationship and you want to be, join us. Let me share some things with you that you will need to know in preparation of being your healthiest so you have the right mindset when re-engaging in another relationship. So you start off the right way. Just some coaching principles and some science-based information that we've found to be extraordinarily helpful for our clients, and we know it will be extraordinarily helpful for you. So all those things are in the works, if not already available, all out on the Encouragement by Design channel. So keep us in mind, pray for us, send us good vibes. We can use it. We can use your support from afar and from close up. Don't forget, every opportunity you can, like us, give us a thumbs up, leave comments, subscribe if nothing else, and or hit the share button on any of the videos on the YouTube page and copy the link and send the link out to your friends, to your family members, to your neighbors, to your coworkers, to any and everybody that you feel might be interested in any of our content enough to be able to view and enjoy some of the videos that we offer. It's worth a try. Let's be there for each other and for other people. So I thank you so much for hearing me. Once again, at the bottom of the screen is a crawler with information as to how you can order my recent book, Becoming a Self-Love Practitioner. And depending on how many people I see that join us, I'm going to offer an invitation for you all to call me in today so we can talk. The number is down there. So when I give the go-ahead, if you'd like to, feel free to call. Let's talk. Let's chop it up a bit on this live stream so we can get to the bottom of your questions, concerns, or your inquiries. And I'll be happy to avail myself in any way that will be helpful to you. So tonight, as it relates to becoming a self-love practitioner, I want to talk about an immensely important topic, one that will have incredible practical bearing for you and for the people in your life, in and around you. And that is the idea, the thing that should be a practice for us of forgiving ourselves. Now, all this time, I have always prided myself on making sure my clients and everyone that I come in contact with fully understand that I am a coach. Excuse me. I am a coach. I do relationship coaching. One more time. Excuse me. Relationship coaching, business and career coaching, life coaching, leadership coaching, performance improvement coaching, self-esteem coaching, self-confidence coaching, self-image coaching. You get the idea, right? I am not a therapist. I am not a counselor. I am a coach. It's a vastly different discipline. Coaches help their clients, not patients, their clients, get to their goals. Therapists help their patients work through and resolve deep-seated emotional issues. Counselors help people put together a plan for how to address different aspects in their lives that may be painful or that may be blockages. That's the difference between coaching, counseling, and therapy. I am a full-blooded coach. I know my lane. I like to stay in it. It's important that I am knowledgeable, that we all are knowledgeable about the boundaries of our craft, and we make sure we act in accordance to those boundaries. That's what I like to do. I don't like to cross over or even get close to the boundary or the border of anything therapeutic, because in this state, Maryland, in order to do anything counseling and therapy related, you have to have a certain education requirement, and you have to sit for a state governed test. You have to be licensed. You have to be acknowledged and deputized by the state to practice counseling or therapy here in Maryland, and in most cases, most states in the union. So to be a life coach, to be any kind of coach, you don't even need a certification. You could jump out there right now and say, hey, I am now Coach Falcon. And nobody's going to question you, and nobody's going to demand to see proof or any credentials or any education that you have achieved. It's not required as of the present time. Maybe one day in the future it might be, but today, any and everybody could jump out. You could wake up and say, I think I want to be a coach today. And nobody is there to challenge that or to make you prove your credentials or your wherewithal to practice. So you can open up a coaching practice with no license, no certification. Now that's good in one sense. It's not so good in another, because there are many people out there that don't understand what a coach is or what coaches do. And there are so many people that are causing much more harm than good. So information is power, and I believe in being empowered to do the things that we need to have done. And especially for those that have paid us and have come in contact with us in collaboration, in hopes that we can help them and support them in their goal, pursuit, and attainment efforts. Okay, so having said all that, one of the things that's really, really close to being therapeutic in nature, not in practice, in terms of the benefit, is this idea of forgiving yourself. Okay, it is important to do that. Forgiving yourself, when you do that, you exercise what's called self-compassion, which is certainly another aspect of self-love. Remember, self-love is having a high regard for your overall well-being and your happiness. I want to make sure I say that every time I turn the camera on, because it's important that you know that. It's important that you know that from a standpoint of understanding what self-love is. So when you read my book, the definition is said in the book from chapter to chapter, just as often as I say the definition on my live interactions on social media. It's important that you understand what self-love is. Many people think self-love is indulging in binge watching and stuffing your face with your favorite snacks and ice cream and chocolate and cheesecake and all those things. Those things are just things that you're doing to try to find comfort in certain foods. They're not self-love. Self-love is having a high regard for oneself and one's overall well-being and one's happiness. That's the proper definition of self-love. Everything else you do is self-care, with the exception of stuffing yourself and being a glutton with certain foods and all. I understand what it means to want to find comfort, and you just, guzzle down a gallon of ice cream, or you order a whole pizza and eat it all by yourself. I understand those things. I've been there many times, and I probably will be. But I understand one thing now on this side of the book is that they're not self-love things. So I don't want you to function and to labor. Excuse me. Excuse me. I don't want you to function or to labor in vain. I'm sorry. Back during the holidays, I got COVID. And ever since then, I have this terrible cough. And I keep going to the doctor, and the doctor keeps telling me time after time, it's just the way some people have been impacted. I'm like, but this cough has been around. So anyway, I have been attended to by a physician multiple times. I've been given all kinds of meds and inhalers to try to help me through my cough. But everybody says the same thing. It's just part and parcel of what you could expect having had COVID. Okay, I guess. I have to live with that. But the idea is I've gone to get checked out multiple times, and it is what it is. Today, forgiving yourself, okay? It's important. I can tell you it's important because many people, and this is a coach looking out, this is my observation. Many people struggle. They have an internal conflict going because they did something that they now regret, or they missed an opportunity to do something that they also now regret. And that can stick in your mind and become a huge obstacle, so big that certain ones of us have difficulty navigating around that thing, or we have difficulty trying to scale that obstacle. We can't get past it. We can't get rid of it. It haunts us because we did something, and now that something has come back to bite us, and we feel like we are internally indebted, and karma just can't play any other card but ours. And we just have this thing in our mind that just keeps reminding us how horrible we are for having done the thing we did, or for having missed the opportunity that we missed. And I'm here to tell you, my listening and my viewing friend, that there is a way for you to break free of that. First of all, I want to just say this. Anything I say now or at any point in time, as I say in the book, many times the aspects of self-love may touch on some triggers, some aspects inside of your being that are very, very sensitive. So sensitive that to just touch them, to talk about them, could trigger a flood of emotion, good or bad. Mostly the bad things are why I bring this up. So if anything I say touches and triggers a whole flurry of negative thoughts and feelings and emotions, I would encourage you to do this, and to do it, as my dad used to say, post haste, to hurry up and connect yourself to a licensed therapist or counselor, because you would at any given moment need to get some emotional and some psychological help. And there is absolutely no shame in that. So what do I want to talk about as it relates to forgiving yourself? Some people can't do that. Or here's something else. Some people just have blockages in their minds and in their souls because of certain interactions they had with people, and maybe those interactions didn't go as planned. And so they're left to linger, they're left to struggle with the lingering effects, the aroma, the odor, the ripples in the water left by something that was an experience that was not favorable, and they just can't let it go. Again, I would challenge you, I would encourage you, I would invite you to reach out to a therapist, a counselor, and get the psychological support that you need. There's no shame in that. I do that often myself. And I've been making that a practice for the past 10 to 15 years. I make no bones about the fact that as a coach, I have a coach and I have a therapist and a counselor. That's important. You need professionals like that on your side. It will help you immensely. Trust me. Or don't trust me. Go get those professionals' help and see for yourself. And I guarantee you'll find how supportive they can be and how enriching they are to help you maintain your whole health for long periods of time. And that's the goal. That's what we're after. Trying to remain healthy, trying to be our healthiest so that we can be the best version of ourselves for people that we come in contact with, first for ourselves and then for other people. That is my mantra. That is the mantra of becoming a self-love practitioner. So forgiving yourself is immensely important. So here's what I've done as a coach. Whenever I talk to relationship clients, particularly relationship clients that have hit a wall, maybe one partner cheated on the other, maybe one spouse was doing something inappropriate that may not have been cheating, but just something that just left a bad taste in their partner or their spouse's mouth, and they just can't get over it. The person that discovered the bad habit or the person that was engaged in the offense or whatever, they both are struggling. In those cases, I invite people to do a particular exercise. It is one of the 7 dimensions of self-love that I've identified in my book, Becoming a Self-Love Practitioner. And the dimension is called beginning again. Beginning again. Begin again is the principle of maintaining control, but of pulling your vehicle, quote unquote, over, symbolically, pulling your vehicle over at the next available rest stop and getting out and either refreshing yourself, switching passengers, or adding or subtracting aspects of whatever it is you're carrying. Sometimes we have to pull over when we're on the highway. Sometimes we have to pull over and get rid of the trash. Sometimes we have to pull over and get new food items. Sometimes we have to pull over and get rid of certain things we may have in the car. Sometimes we may have to pull over and acquire new things like blankets and gloves or whatever, hot packs and things, socks, when we're in a car for a long period of time. Sometimes we have to pull over and get a fresh cup of coffee or a fresh bottle of soda, whatever, to be able to make the journey that much more enjoyable. That's what beginning again means, is you pull over. But here's the thing, when you begin again, you maintain control. You never want to let go of the steering wheel, so to speak. You always want to, because this is not quitting. This is not giving up. This is not walking away. You are methodically, thoughtfully pulling your vehicle over to get a rest. And that is often what's necessary. And in getting that rest, you can recalibrate, you can refresh, you can review what's already taken place, you can adjust your perspective, you can clean the windshields, you can add more air to your tires, you can check your gauges. That makes sense? I'm using an automobile analogy, maintenance, side of the road maintenance kind of analogy, to just say sometimes we have to do those things for ourselves, because self-love is what? Having a high regard for your overall well-being. So that means you on every level. You have a high regard, meaning you want to put the state of being of all of your parts ahead of anything else that you need to do. You need to take care of your spiritual self, your mental and emotional self, your physical body. You need to take care of those aspects of you, and that taking care of process needs to be preeminent in your life. It needs to be primary before you run off doing anything for anybody else for any length of time or for any reason. No matter how noble it might be, you need to first assess your needs and address your needs, resolving them in a reasonable amount of time. And if you can't resolve them in a reasonable amount of time, you go out and you get qualified professionals and you bring them into the equation and you assign them to work to resolve the issues. It is detrimental to leave things undone. Likewise, it is detrimental to have this thing going on in your mind and heart that you just can't let go, nor are you strong or wise enough sometimes to figure out how to navigate around it. Get someone involved. In that specific example, that is the primary work of a life coach, a business and career coach, a relationship coach. Any coach can help you with that, because coaching is about helping people to be successful in their goal pursuit and attainment processes, okay? So that's what you would do for that. But you would have to understand that the blockage needs to be addressed. Don't just keep living with it. And this is what we tend to do. We just live with things and we go, oh, I'm managing. Or we say something else. We say, oh, I'm just climbing up the rough side of the mountain. Well, I'm just doing it day by day. I'm just plodding along. We want to have confident responses. Hey, James, how you doing? Wonderful, excited, fantastic, phenomenal. I am progressing. I am moving forward. I'm carrying the ball downfield, and I am closer to the end zone as I've ever been. You want to have those kind of statements, not because it sounds good, but because you want to have your mouth testify to what's going on inside. I said on the last broadcast, as I say so many times, especially here recently, people that tell lies can tell lies so easily because they live lies. You can't help but tell a lie if you live a lie. Likewise, you can't help but speak the truth if you live the truth. Let me say it again. You can't help but speak the truth if you live in truth. You won't live in truth and speak a lie. You won't live in a lie and speak the truth. It doesn't work, because your inside will give rise to what spills out and into your outside. Your inside will create form and fashion your outside. So if you want change anywhere out here, you need to first spark, facilitate, and allow there to be change and transformation in here. As it says in the Hermetic principles, so as above, so below, so as within, so without. So if you want any kind of change out here, you need to start. You need to spark. You need to facilitate. You need to add. You need to light the match. You need to add the jumping cables and hook up to a strong battery and start pumping, baby, to get change to happen first in here. The deeper the change, the more long lasting the change will be on the outside. So make sure your change and transformation is deep enough. Make sure it's rooted and anchored in the manner that it needs to be. And I guarantee when it spills out, you will be subject to see longer periods of change and transformation and longer benefit of change and transformation on the outside when that kind of anchoring is done on the inside. And I talk about all of that in the book. And I talk about it at length. I talk about it in detail. And I give you, as I do all the time, the science, the empirical evidence behind all of these things. So going back to the principle, forgiving yourself, we want to begin again. So if something happens, just simply realize that the way you were traveling may not be beneficial. It may not be the best. So sometimes you need to just pull your car over and rest, refuel, get new supplies, get rid of some people, add some new people, whatever the case may be. But make sure it's you and you stay in complete control and you realize that this is a moment in time that is best for me to tap out for a minute or two and do what's necessary to get your head, your mind, and everything in your world back in race top shape, so to speak, okay? The exercise I have, and I want you to try this. If you have a blockage of some kind, if you haven't forgiven yourself in some area, if you haven't let go of certain failures, missteps, and challenges, then I want to invite you to do this. I share with my clients a whole exercise. And some people give their clients this same exercise with a few nuances, and I'll tell you about those in a second. But let me tell you what I ask my clients to do. So I ask them to sit very prayerfully and very meditatively at a table with a single piece of paper or with several sheets of paper. And I ask them to think about the blockages they have. Maybe some things happen where they expected a certain outcome and they were gravely disappointed that things didn't materialize the way they had hoped. So they have a disappointment that's too heavy for them to carry around. They've been dragging this trunk full of disappointment for years. They just can't get over the fact that they missed out on something and they realize it was all their fault. And it's just been gnawing at them for a long period of time. So they drag this thing. So for that person, sit down, write out on a piece of paper. Take your paper long way, okay? Take your paper long way. Excuse me. Take your paper long way. Draw a line down the middle. Straight down the middle. Excuse me. Draw a line straight down the middle of the piece of paper. And whatever side you want to start on, write on one side the issues. On the other side of the line, write down the people's names that are connected to the issue. Now, we're not intending to mean these people any harm at all. We're just being thorough about what's bothering us. So we want to acknowledge what's there and where we consider the source to be of that issue, okay? Now, these are either actual issues or perceived issues. Either way, whether it's an actual or perceived issue, there is a blockage somewhere within you that is causing your traffic to slow down. You're not getting to where you need to be fast enough. You're not moving maybe at all. You feel like you're running in the mud uphill. You ever felt like that? I just can't seem to get going. I just can't seem to get going and pick up any momentum. I can't seem to pick up any speed, or I can't seem to maintain speed. Any of those experiences are because these blockages there. So you take this piece of paper, on one side put the issue, on the other side put the people that you have associated with that issue. Maybe it was out of their mouths or out of your interacting with that particular person or group of people that the issues have arisen. And then when you've done your thorough job of indicating the issue and the people that you consider to be the sources or the people connected to those issues, and you filled as much that you needed to on the front and the back, get yourself another piece of paper. Write them all down. Write them all down. All you're doing is recording. You're not doing anything. You're not saying anything. You're not chanting anything. You're just writing down issues and people. And you want to fill as much of the pieces of paper as you can because you want to get it all out, okay? And then what you want to do, excuse me, and then what you want to do is this. You want to go into your kitchen. You're like, James, are you serious? Absolutely. Listen, go with me. Go into your kitchen. Find yourself a big metal mixing bowl or a large pot, maybe one of those 5-quart pots that you use to boil spaghetti in or whatever the case may be. I want you to put that pot or pan in your sink, and I want you to take all of the pieces of paper that you've written on, and I want you to put them in that pot or that mixing pan, and I want you to take a lighter. If you're right next to the stove, you can just simply lean over, and I want you to light your pieces of paper on fire, and I want you to watch them burn. And let me just make sure that I overemphasize this. This is a symbolism. You are not trying to cause or create any harm or chaos to any of the people's names that you put on this piece of paper. You're not trying to be angry or vindictive toward them. This is not that exercise. I'm sorry. This is not a way to, identify them for karma to come by and perform a hit. This is nothing that's going to bring any harm to anybody. As a matter of fact, it's going to bring maximum healing and health. Release, I guess is a better word, not healing, but release to you, and you particularly and especially. I want you to watch these pieces of paper burn. Well, James, what does all this have to do with self-love? Self-love is you having a high regard for yourself and your happiness. You haven't been able to be happy because of these blockages, these issues, these reoccurring thoughts that keep coming up that were caused in certain situations, or at least perceived to be caused in certain situations by the people you listed. Now, I want you to watch those pieces of paper burn. And in watching them burn, I want you to realize this. Just like you can no longer pick those pieces of paper up because the ashes would run through your fingers, you're understanding I will no longer pick up and take hold of these issues or of the people that I've identified as the source or the connection to these issues. I'm letting them go. I am surrendering them. I'm giving them back. I'm done with them. I'm putting them down to never again reach for them, to carry them ever again. I'm going to walk in health and in healing. I'm going to walk burden-free of these issues. So that's why I say I hope you took your time to prayerfully list everything that you could think of, because it's necessary. You want to be completely burden-free by the end of this exercise. So watch them burn down to ashes. If there's a piece of paper left, take that piece of paper and set it on fire. Make sure everything in that bowl or that pan burns. Make sure it burns to ashes. Make sure it burns black. Make sure it burns so it's unrecognizable. Make sure it burns so it's unreadable. And certainly make sure that it burns that you can't ever grab a hold to it again. You see the point? And you let it go. And then what I want you to do is run that pan or that pot under some water and make sure all of your pieces of paper are fully saturated with water, because we don't want any fire issues. And then I want you to get rid of the debris in there, whether you pour it down the sink, whatever you want to do, but get rid of it. Get rid of it safely and make sure the paper that was burning has been fully saturated with water so you can extinguish the flames and the fire and the smoke. And when you walk away from that experience, walk away knowing that you have done everything you need to do to let those issues and those people completely go. Let them go. Now what I want you to say to yourself is, I am now ready. I am now positioned. I am now prepared to receive new blessings, to enjoy new opportunities with new people or different people or new experiences, healthier experiences and exchanges with the people that I listed on the piece of paper. I want you to physically reach your hand out and say, I am now ready for new things, new experiences, new heights. new exchanges, new strategies, new perspectives concerning my life. I now have an open space available for some new things to move in to take the places of the old things. I have rid my soul, my spirit, of the former burdens, and I now make way for brand new things to come into my life. New things that I can enjoy, new things that I can celebrate. And I'm ready for those to take place now. Say something along those lines. Stop the video once we've finished. Rewind the video if you need to, and just practice those things. And then I want you to walk away knowing that you have now done your part. What is this all about? Self-love is having a high regard for yourself to the degree that you put your being in all of its parts first and foremost. This is an amazing exercise to do, because if you do this, and here's the beauty, you can do this exercise however many times you want. There's no limit. There's nothing anywhere that says you can only do this once a year, once a month. What I personally like to do is at pivotal times in my life, certain seasons based on the calendar that I feel are significant. Like I do a burn every new year. I do a burn at the end of every old year. I do a burn on every birthday. I do a burn on anniversary celebrations. I do a burn at the beginning of spring, at the end of spring, at the beginning of summer, at the beginning of winter and fall. Every season, I do a burn. I do them often so that I can identify, assess me and all my parts, and identify blockages and realize, hey, I got to deal with some things. And I do that often so that I can be what? The best version of myself that I can possibly be. This enables me to be a true, best level Good Samaritan. This enables me to be the best partner to my significant other. This enables me to be the best father figure to my daughter that I can possibly. It allows me to be the best neighbor, the best coworker, the best coach, the best presenter, the best organizer of things online, the best teacher, whatever the case may be. I can be healthier and I can engage in new interactions, having the confidence and the comfort that I did everything I was supposed to do in dealing with my own blockages, triggers. And so you see how that works? So I get a compounded benefit in this process. I get a boost in self-esteem. I get a boost on every other level because I know that I am now free. I am freer than I've ever been. I am clear-minded. I'm not divided. I'm not burdened. I can go into new exchanges fully capable of being the best version of myself possible. And as a result, you and everybody in my life, you get the best version of James W. Falcon that I can possibly present. So I'm showing you how much I love you by showing you how much I love me. Because in showing you how much I love me, I then afford you aspects of this me that I love to help enhance both of our living. And that becomes the best process ever. When I can join my energy and enthusiasm with yours, we can't help but to go to brand new plateaus. That's how beginning again works. That's how forgiving yourself works. That's how exercising self-compassion can benefit. That's how becoming a self-love practitioner can play out for you in your everyday living to the degree that you become the best version of you that you can possibly be. Why? First for yourself and then for other people in that specific order. First for yourself and then for other people in that specific order. So either by tonight, I'm going to either make a decision after I look at the numbers for this week as to whether or not we're going to finish this series or whether or not I'm going to go any further, or I'm just going to say, let me just do one more day or maybe finish out the week and then look at the numbers and see. In either case, I hope you've got immensely valued and blessed from what we've been able to produce. And let's see if this should go forward or not. Okay, so one way or another, I'll let you know by midday toward end of day tomorrow. And if for nothing else, you can go to the Encouragement by Design channel and take a look at all the previous broadcasts. You now have 9 episodes, 9 separate episodes of supporting information for the book. Don't forget, get your copy of the book and look at all the videos. I'm telling you, you will be blown away by just how powerful, practical, and poignant all the information in the segments are. Trust me. Actually, don't trust me. Experience it for yourself. And then share. Anything that you like, give us a thumbs up, like it. If you feel so inclined, leave comments. And most of all, please, 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 be sure to subscribe to the channel. I thank you so much for all of these things in advance, and especially and particularly for your time and for your attention. From my home and heart and household to yours, peace and power. Take care.